Hello, this is Shiva, and this is episode 7 of my series on building the 8-ball machine using PinBuilder, which is, if you've just joined us, this is the brand new pinball editor system. It's available on Steam. I hope that those that have been watching the previous episodes have enjoyed it enough to continue to watch, because things are going to get very, very interesting very, very soon, especially with the latest update that is going to be coming out hopefully very, very soon. In the meanwhile, let's do some housekeeping. And the first thing I should mention is Wednesday is my travel day. I'm going to be away on the road for quite a few hours. I'm going from one place to the other. So there's a good chance that I might not do a video for tomorrow. There's a good chance I might not do a video on Wednesday. I think actually there's a very good chance of that. And then on Thursday, I might be too tired to do a video on Thursday. Okay, so the big thing is we are expecting another update for PinBuilder soon. The developer hasn't actually mentioned anything in his own form about when we can expect it or anything else like that, but it is going to be a huge update. And it kind of has to be. Hopefully a lot of things are fixed. I do know just from what I've been able to piece together that there are going to be some new stuff in there. So we'll see what it is. When he does release a new update, I will, of course, as soon as I have time, make a new video for you, and I will just detail some of the changes. The other thing I want to mention is, as you can tell, I've had problems with the videos, and I'm very, very new to this, but I'm getting a lot better. And the videos, even though I'm not very good when it comes to the talking part, at least the videos are now watchable and I'm starting to cram in some information. You've also noticed that the view count hasn't been very, very high, and the reason why is I've already been posting the links directly in the Steam forum for PinBuilder, and I guess a lot of people just are not there. But that's going to change very, very quickly. Once the new update comes out, I am going to start including links in my my pinball community forum, we have about 25,000 members, so expect the channel to become a lot more active. So I'm really hoping that this new update fixes a few things, because at the moment I have not been able to really play PinBuilder because of a really bad bug that has appeared in my computer, and that's the reason why I haven't been showing any of the play in PinBuilder, because of this bug. I just don't think that is fair to the developer if I show that. But on the other hand, I'm trying to build pinball tables and I'm doing videos about it as well, so I'm really hoping that bug is fixed at the very least. So but starting with the new release, the new updates, I am going to be showing the play. So people within the future pinball and visual pinball community can see exactly how this table plays and how it performs. And at PN, for example, where I'm the administrator there, we have over 25,000 members. So yeah, we're going to see a bit more activity. I've also been asked about 3 or 4 times by the members about what I think about this game. I haven't really given them my opinion, and I think I am going to reserve that opinion until for at least a few more days. I would really like to work with this program a little bit more. I really want to be able to form a honest opinion and a honest assessment. As I said, I've had a lot of problems with the bugs, but that could be just me, or more likely my hardware. This is a pretty high-end gaming laptop that I use, and this program, and it has all sorts of capabilities, and you never know what's going on within your computer. And on top of it, I'm also a very, very large content creator in my own right, especially for pinball. I've done tables, actually quite a few tables. I've written some pretty sophisticated game engines, scoring and logic engines for pinball. I do a lot of graphics, I do the sounds and everything else. A lot of people have used my work over the years. So, these are some pretty high-end programs that I'm also using. I've done a lot of big-time web development over the years too as well. So I've got things like Photoshop, I've got Dreamweaver. I don't actually use it anymore, but it's still in there. And some of the other things, Audacity, I've got Blender in my computer. I've even got the Unity system in my computer. So, there may be one or two odd conflicts going on in there. In the meanwhile, as you see, I'm just showing this screen. I wanted to use the front page for PinBuilder, but what happens is the very top section, it just starts cycling. So I was actually recording this. I started at this screen, it went over, and then it went to the video, and then started playing right over top of what I was talking about. Okay, whatever. So anyway, the last bit of business is I'm going to kind of rush 8Ballse a little bit more here. I'm going to do a lot of the work off screen, and then what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to do videos. That's just showing you exactly what I've done, and I'll go through it there. I'm not going to be creating anything from scratch anymore. The game devs have done that, and the videos have ended up being a lot longer, and sometimes you end up showing more bugs than features, to be honest, especially considering how early this program is. So I've decided that's the best way, and I think people will learn a little bit better if I just do it that way, as opposed to you spending an extra 10-15 minutes of your time watching me try to figure out things. So we'll just do it that way and see how that works. In the meanwhile, I was just thinking about 8Ballse and finishing it off pretty quickly, and kind of considering what I should do next. I love battle games. I have a lot of resources for battle games, especially the early solid state. This is IPDB. I don't know. I think some of the game listings here are just a little bit out of whack. But I'm just taking a look at what might be the next game. If you notice, I've already highlighted skateball. I'm not too sure, even with 3 or 4 updates, that PinBuilder will be able to really do that game justice. It's also a very difficult game to do from a physics point of view, so that's the reason why I highlighted it, because if PinBuilder can do it, say, better than Future Pinball, the cross the playfield shot from the plunger, well, that's pretty damn good. On the other hand, I've also got other games to consider. I've got a lot of resources for all of this. Strikes and spares, I got tons of stuff. Lost World is something that I really wouldn't mind doing, but the problem with Lost World is it has a captive ball system, and I have a feeling that we're going to need a completely new object system for the Lost World, because the only way I can think of doing that is to spawn a ball, but then that means that you sort of lose a lot of other things. So I think we'll see a captive ball system for PinBuilder soon, to keep it separate from the ball spawning feature. But there's also games like $6 Million Man, and of course there's Playboy. You already know I've got tons of stuff with Playboy, and as you can see, the other one, Kiss and Star Trek. But I think Star Trek is the one that a lot of people would love me to do. And then, of course, we'll start getting down to stuff that's a little bit too new. So, in the meantime, so why don't I show you how I make my life real easy when it comes to learning the system and doing reasonably complex logic mode. And the very simple, see, the thing is that you do have the controllers. You've got all of these settings, and some of these controllers are sort of daisy-chained. There's like 4 of them, one right after the other, that you have to do. There's absolutely no way that most people are going to remember all of the steps. But the example tables have them, but the problem with that is you have to save the game, you have to go to the example game, you have to take a look at how it's done, you have to exit that game, you have to go back to your game. You're going backwards and forwards between the two. And somebody had sort of mentioned this, that they were concerned about that. It was another community member from Future Pinball, and I just actually told him how I did it, and now I'm telling you. And it's a very, very simple thing. Call up the system, the game that you want, and I believe it's current right now. Yeah, let's use this. Let's use Keju Battle. I actually used Alien Harvest, but let's do that. We're just going to tab to go into edit mode. Then we just select logic mode. We will scroll up to where we want to be. As you can see, we're doing the multiplier system. So there it is right there. This is the start, lane 1. Then it goes to, and as you can see, it has various controllers. And the easiest thing to do is to highlight the controller and then press F12 and make a screenshot. And then do it for every controller that you're using. Multipliers, there's another one. Take a screenshot of that. And what you end up, what I actually end up doing is just renaming them. And as you can see, it's right there. I had to redo Alien Harvest because there was a pretty big update, the last update, and it completely changed this entire, the right panel. He renamed a couple of things, and I was just, I have to be a completist. But as you can tell, that's exactly what I did. That's the first in my chain, top lane complete. I didn't bother with the top, with 1, 2, and 3, those type of things. I didn't bother taking a screenshot. That's pretty basic. And then I kept doing more and a separate screenshot for all of the various controllers. And in this case, there is 4. Okay. So that's how I did it. I have 2 monitors on my system. My main monitor, it has PinBuilder on it. My second monitor, it has my screenshots. So all I have to do is just call up the proper screenshot when I'm working with the logic controller if I need that kind of help. And I just base everything on the screenshot, which is exactly what I just did with 8Ballse. And I also want to mention that testing this can be pretty tough. Because if you just play it normally, the chances of, for instance, with Multiplier, I have 3 multipliers, plus sort of like what's with the example tables, it lights a special the 4th time, but it actually doesn't work at the present moment. That's okay. So I kind of had to come up with a way to make it easier to test other than just playing it for 10-15 minutes and losing ball after ball and stuff like that. So I used a very simple idea I was using in my first full around table, which is the Bally template, and I sort of decided to just do it here. And as you can see, I'll make it easy for you. I'll just put it into edit mode. But as you can see, I have the ball spawner here. I have all 4 of my main switches. And when you go into logic mode, you'll see that I moved everything over that I'm going to need. I can test it very, very quickly. And then once I am finished testing, I just move all of the objects back. So, this is actually the best way I think to do it. If you notice, I even drew a couple of lanes. I'm really not going to be playing this game until the logic is almost completely done. So, just do it this way. Just drag the objects that you want to change in here. You've got your ball spawner there. You do all of your controllers and everything else like that. When you want to play the game, you just hit the tab to start the game, and of course I didn't have the screen selected with my mouse, so it's not going to do it. Anyway, the game will show up. Just start a game, wait for the ball to come out. Oh, I put the sound in, it's not going again. Never mind. So anyway, the ball's popped out. All you have to do is just press the B key to create a ball from the ball spawner. I will give a really good explanation of how this particular system is working. It's generally used for multi-ball, but it's also great for testing. The problem with the ball spawner is it just only spawns the ball straight down. It's not like, say, the ball roller feature in future pinball, where a ball is basically glued to your mouse cursor, and you can just sort of move the ball anywhere you want to. With PinBuilder, it's a very simple system. The ball spawner just spawns the ball, and it just goes straight down. It can't go really anywhere else. So let's hit the. As you can see, I'm doing the multipliers right now, and the switches and the lights are from the top lane. And if you notice, if you look way up there, you notice they're missing because I've moved everything back down here. So let's hit the B key. So we've got 2 times. Let's try that again. You notice that there are multiple sounds happening. It's playing the single sound, and then it's playing the bank made sound. The chances of that it doesn't happen every time, okay? But it's just the way it is. So now I'm at 5 times. And at the recording of this video, I haven't actually gotten the special lights to turn on. I've actually noticed that it seems to be a small problem with PinBuilder at the moment. One of the big problems I've noticed is that a lot of the stuff is just half done. So again, I'm hoping the update sort of completes some of these features. And to be honest, I've just decided to record this video instead of spending another half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever, in getting this game perfect. I'm just giving you the basic idea. So why don't we have a look? So you see how I do it. So why don't we have a look at logic mode and what I did. Oh, here's another little trick that I do. Doing it this way for testing, just way faster. One of the problems I have noticed is, can you spot where that tiny little right dot is? We all know this right dot, if we use PinBuilder, is where our objects are going. Well, we have to go in and out. Up, there he is. He's right there. See? White dot on a right background. Not a good idea. It's very hard to see where it is. And sometimes your objects are spawned. Like if I'm up here, sometimes my objects are spawned right underneath the bumper, and I can't see where the damn thing is. Right? So you have to be very, very, very careful with that. See, he was over there. There he is. See, real tiny little right dot. So on top of it, when you go into logic mode, it is very, very hard to read those letters sometimes. This is not so bad, this area here, because I've been trying to get it. But as you can see, right here, it is very, very tough to read, and of course sideways, because this is the way PinBuilder does some stuff. But there is, in fact, a very simple little trick. If you have a lot of that right text over a very, very large right area for the background, it's actually quite simple, isn't it? Well, let's make this green today. There you go. Isn't that a lot easier? Yep. So that's actually, I guess you're going to be looking at a green screen. Okay, so let's start the chain. Each one of these is a switch. This is the A. As you can see, this is B, this is the C, this is the D. They all, they all fit here. And the lights for them, as you can tell, are right here. So what we need to do, I'm going to move this out of the way because I'm going to highlight this. Every time the switch goes over, this light turns on. Right? When the ball goes over the switch is attached to a controller, and it is basically saying to the switch, hey, a ball has just rolled over. What should we do next? The controller that it's connected to is the one that really sort of decides everything. And as you can see, this is really, really basic. The event type is a switch. It's either on or it's off. When the ball rolls over, it's on. When the ball has gone past the rollover, it's off. All right, so pretty simple. Completion type points. You'll notice that I'm pointing to a new controller, top lanes. I will explain that one in a second. Do you want this to reset? No, you don't. Do you want any points? Well, 1,000 points. And let's play a sound. There you go. There's your sound. Every single switch has a controller port. And as you notice, every single controller is pointing towards turning a light on. The light on above that switch, so the player knows that he's made that particular lane. And you can tell all four are exactly like that, so that's good. They all point to the next controller in the chain, and that is called, oh, I've selected that wrong. There we go. Top lanes complete. If you notice, that's exactly what the target controller says. So top lanes complete. What each of the lane controllers are doing is they're giving you all of the stuff there, and then they're saying, okay, there's maybe more to do here, so go to top lanes complete. So that is exactly what this is. And what this does is it checks all of the light states. So if all four lights are made, then it triggers this particular section here. This is put on as logic only. The completion type is points only. And in this case, it's 5,000 points, and that's just points for completing all four lights. And then it points to another controller, which is multipliers, which is actually our main rule for when we complete all four lanes. And then it also resets on completion. So once the ball has gone all the way down and triggered all four of these triggers, and every single one of these lights turn on because of that, what it does is it resets everything, and it starts all the way back from the beginning. So that's exactly what it means. And it will also play a sound. So it points to the multipliers, resets everything, gives you 5,000 points, plays a sound. So what's next? Well, it points to a third controller, and this is called Multipliers, and I believe it's this one right here. Now this one is kind of more complicated. It's directly connected, as you can tell from the controller before it, but this actually handles the multiplier lights. And as you can see, all three multipliers, this is 2 times, this is 3 times, this is 4 times. This handles the multiplier lights, and it also is very, very special in that you can actually score something other than points. This is, I think, the first time I've actually even, other than the bonus counter, it will score a bonus multiplier. So it will also give you 1,000 points. I think I'm going to change that actually. It shouldn't score you any points, should it? Whoops. No, you're not scoring any more points. You've already scored 1,000 points for the switch. You're scoring 5,000 for completing it. No, you don't need to do that. Okay, so sorry. It does not reset on completion, but it will award a bonus multiplier, and this is completely and totally automatic by PinBuilder. You don't have to worry about that or any kind of special coding, or you don't have to do anything extra. All you have to do is you have to put your you do the logic properly on this side, and you make sure that every light that you want for the multiplier is on. And as you can see, it has in fact reset. Whoa, I don't know if that's actually what happened. I hope it's not just giving me 2 times every time. Nope, it's fine. I better save that right now. I may have made a mistake, but I did have it set for 2, 3, and 4 times yesterday. I know I did, but well, whatever. Okay, so here we go, multipliers. So that is this handles the multipliers, and if you notice, I have another thing on the chain, and it is called trigger outlanes, and this is for what happens after the multipliers are completely finished. In other words, you've gone through 3 times, and you're going to go through the fourth time in my rules, and actually also in the example games. We're going to trigger the outlanes, and it's that one there, and it's that one there. The problem is it doesn't appear to be working. I've looked at the example games. It doesn't seem to be working with those either, so we just really won't go on to it too much. It is a logic, it's points, it's outlane special, and then it points to the outlane special, and then this one is supposed to look at the switches, see what the light state is, and the water special, and that is the end of the chain. And of course it plays a really, really nice sound. There you go. Unfortunately, as I said before, it's not working. I believe there's a feature missing in the logic mode that hasn't been put in yet. I'm kind of hoping that he does put it in with this next update, because it kind of makes the game being delayed even more than it has been, but we'll see. So anyway, that's exactly how I did this. And if you have a comment, leave it below. Let me know if you actually prefer this method. Of course, I know in a far more professional manner. But you know what? I'm not doing this for money, am I? I'm just doing this because I want to. So we'll go back to edit mode. I think I'm going to change my color back. Green is fine, but I'm not a huge fan of green. So anyway, here we go. So that's how I'm doing it. And if you prefer this method as opposed to building everything from scratch and fumbling around with words and making mistakes and showing all sorts of stuff that you don't really, that's sort of not even part of the subject and stuff, that's the reason why I'm doing it this way. And I'm also really wanted to show you how I make things so easy for testing. So for instance, if I have instead okay, how about these guys right here? This guy, stand up targets and drop targets. Well, what I can do is I can just set them as, I can just still test them as a switch, and then when I am satisfied that the logic is actually working, I can just change the controller so that instead of pointing to here, it just points to there. Same with the lights. So it's just a great way to do it. Oh my goodness, the amount of time that you save by this method. So if you're going to be doing a table in PinBuilder, I hope you either use this system or come up with something that's even better, something that's even faster and easier for people to use. All it really takes is a couple big wire ramps so that the ball stays in place, and the ball spawner, and put all of your objects that you want the logic to be working on. Then your lights, that's all you have to do, and it's just real easy to press that B key to spawn a ball, and it doesn't mess up any of the other portions of this game. So it just works great. So in the meanwhile, I may be back in the next couple of days. I may not. So if I don't post a video for 3 days, I'm still not dead. All right, it's just I'm going to be very, very busy for the next 3 days. In the meanwhile, hopefully an update shows up during that time. If not, it'll probably be at the end of the week. Who knows? But in the meanwhile, I hope you've had a great day, been enjoying the weather. I know that some people are saying that it is incredibly, incredibly hot where they are, and I feel really, really sorry for you. In my area, we had this really massive heat dome. It lasted for 3 weeks, and it was unbearable. So I'm just hang in there, try to keep cool. And for the rest of you, well, you have a great evening, have a great tomorrow, and happy pinball. Bye-bye.